I'm Jonathan Wyner at M-Works Mastering in Cambridge, Massachusetts, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the Dangerous Compressor. So one of the things I really love about the compressor is the sound of the signal path. It's very transparent, very open, like all the rest of the Dangerous gear. It's got all the dynamic range you could ever expect out of an analog device, but it gives a very slight, subtle warmth to the mid-range, and I think enhances sometimes the sound of the vocal or other tonal, like lead instruments in a mix. So I really love the way audio comes out of the box. So an unusual feature about this compressor is what Dangerous calls smart dynamics. And I like to think of it as having a transient designer built into my compressor. So I can be compressing something to smooth the RMS or the average level, but it maintains the transient shapes or the transient peaks. So the audio sounds a little bit more lively and actually comes out sounding a little bit louder than it might with another compressor. The detector is very, very smooth. So while of course it's possible to overcompress something with it, in general, the program holds together, and you can be pretty aggressive with the Dangerous compressor without obviously hearing the sound or the signature of the compression. So whether you're doing just a little or doing a lot, I find it's very versatile and sounds very good. So the compressor has a hard and a soft knee mode. It's also got auto time constants, which I actually find often work very, very well. And with this compressor, more than others, I'll find myself sticking to the auto attack and release as opposed to setting my own. But of course, I want to have the flexibility, so for those instances where I want a really long attack time so the low-frequency transient gets through before the compressor kicks in or something along those lines, you can do that with the compressor. The compressor lets you obviously link the left and the right side in terms of the threshold and the gain, which are the most important aspects, if you will, when you're processing stereo program to link together, but it still processes the two channels separately. The VCAs are working independently, and in fact, you can adjust attack and release time for each side, if you will, independently if you want to. That way, if you've got a rhythmic component that's driving one side of the mix more than the other, you can back off the attack time a little bit on that side so it's not causing the compressor to pump. So it's a really clever way of dealing with ganging or stereo linking the two channels. One of the things I really appreciate about the design of the compressor is the sidechain filter implementation. There's two possible ways of dealing with the sidechain, either using the stock high-pass filter that's built into it, which is very gentle and sounds very musical, or if you want to do something a little bit more flexible, if you will, you can take your own EQ, plug it into the sidechain input in the back of it, and manipulate the sidechain however you like. And what's really cool is there's a sidechain monitor feature on the compressor, so you can listen to the sidechain feed as you're adjusting it, and then go back and listen to the signal path that you'll actually be capturing. So in keeping with the excellent signal path, one of the things I find myself using the compressor for is the gain. And its implementation is that it's continuously variable and very smooth, and sometimes I can just find a sweet spot with the gain control that gives me a little bit more, a little bit less color, and that's all I need to do with the compressor.